Yeah, a very warm good afternoon to one and all. Today we'll begin with the first experiment of the syllabus. Uh, so I'm handling DALAB, as you all know. So today we'll walk through the first experiment. All the experiments will be carried out in Java platform. Since we are online, I'm running through this online GDB portal. Here I have some experiments. I will run the experiments and show. Hope I'm clearly audible. There are no issues with my sound and the screens as well. Please give me a confirmation so that I can continue the execution process.
Yes,
Yes.
sir, it's clear.
Yeah, fine. The first experiment, 1A, B, both I will complete. So first you need to create a simple database of students holding some information like USN, name, department, and phone number. So this four information have to be maintained in the form of a kind of a special data structure. I mean, in the form of records, we will have to store the information of the students. So this is the first 1A experiment. So it is just kindly accept the information from the students, these four fields: USN, name, department, and phone number, and correspondingly print them. This is very simple program. Followed by we are using or executing the stack program with the three functions: push, pop, and display functions to demonstrate the working procedure of stack. So these two programs we will be walking through the first experiment. Um, so in this program, the first part, the first one, what I observed is students database information. There are two classes. Two cla sorry, two classes have to be utilized, or two classes have to be created. One is the student.java, where I will try to accept or I'll try to create one kind of data structure for the students, what all information have to be stored. Please remember, I have imported certain header files which may be going out of the box for ourselves today, because since we are not working on Java, I mean, we have to yet start with Java programs, but um, in the end of the second module, we'll start learning about Java. But you understand that if we try to write something, that has to be done with the help of a buffer. And I need to import certain files with respect to storing the data in the form of characters. Okay, so if there are any errors, who will handle? IO exception will handle. So taking the standard input, scanner will help me for that. So these are the different header files which I'm trying to import. So buffered reader, IO exception, input stream reader, and scanner. These four header files I will import, and I will create a class with the name as student, and the same will be acting as my file name. So here I will try to create four different variables to access each one of the information which is asked in the question. So USN, name, branch, and phone number, and followed by correspondingly I will try to create one object of the scanner class. So this small s scanner represents the object for the class scanner, which is utilized to take the input and store it in the memory. Okay, so that's the standard input device we use for the standard input devices. Then if you are writing something that has to be placed in the buffer, so buffer class, I will create one object as n. N is the object for buffered class. Same way, see, when I'm trying to utilize the buffer, or when I'm trying to write some content, that content to write, I don't know where to write. I can use files, but files concepts you need to have pointers. Then again, a file should have different readers, write pointers, read pointers, and some specific memory locations, and that becomes a tedious job. So in order to avoid this, I will take one simple buffer where I'll try to store the data. So please remember, buffer is a void data type. It is like a data type where I can write any type of data. Right. So please remember, this is the specific style of writing the buffered class. So buffered reader is the class name, in is the object, create dynamically in the form of what? Buffered reader new input stream reader, where I will try to accept the information which is stored, which is accepting from the standard input device. Okay, that accept the information whatever is typed from standard input device, that I will take in the form of input streams and place it in buffer. That's how this particular line works. Suppose if there are any errors, or if there are any chances of getting errors, I will write the method here. This is the function read. If there are any errors, this will throw an error, and IO exception will handle accordingly. So if there are any out of memory errors, or there are any fragmentation errors, or any other errors which are bound to be happening at the runtime, which the user may not be analyzing it, so the IO exception will take care of those things. So system.out.println is to just to print the what is written on the in the inside the quotes, followed by accepting the information of USN, accept the information of USN, name, phone number, and branch. So when I say read, when I call read function, these four things will be accepting. So when I call display, automatically I'm just trying to... Anybody have any doubts? Guys, anybody have any questions? Okay. So let me move on. This is the first file, and in the other file I have main function, where I'm trying to create the object of the for student class, and I will try to call them, and the functions which I have written in student I will try to call here. The please try to understand here again, I am importing two files. See, please remember the file name is main.java. That means this is the particular main file which will initiate first. This class should have a function called as void main function inside this particular class. This is very important. Okay, so this is the general syntax, then followed by how many number of students information you want to assign, that I will use here in the form of n, and I'm trying to create one particular object for this particular say in the form of an array, because I don't know how many students information I need to store, so I will try to pass on the number of students information n here. So this is the object creation in the form of an array to this particular data structure. Then I will try to start information about each particular student's records, starting from 0 to n-1. So I will try to enter the information of student's record. So new student, I will try to call s of I new student. So when I am just calling the type of constructor where initially all students information will be loaded, then it's like a constructor assigning the memory will be happening with respect to constructors. I'll tell you what you mean by constructor in the maybe in the next class or so. So there's one special function which will be in the form of the class name itself, maybe with parameters or without parameters, that's understood. So constructor job is to create the call the function automatically when the object is created. No need to call the function. That's the speciality of the constructor. So the initializations can be done using constructors. So the moment you assign memory, we will try to call the function, read function. Then slowly after reading the information, I will try to display them in the form of same array method. So I hope there are no doubts. If there are any doubts or any clarifications, we can just raise some questions. I'm ready to answer your questions. All right, so run this program. Please remember, in your regular experiments, we take one project. In project, we will try to store only these two files. Maybe this may be in the form of any file name. This also may be in any file name, but the file which holds main, that class has to be executed. If I try to execute this, it will not execute. It will just remain silent. But here by default, your online IDE checks for this particular line and automatically executes. So let me run this. So initially it asks me number of students. So let me write 2 students. So it asks one student's record you start entering. Say 19 CS, say 300. This will be my first USN, and this is my first name. Then I will try to write some phone number. So I will try to write the information of the department. Subsequently, it asks me to enter the additional information as well of the second student. Now some other names, and lastly I will have information like this and automatically printed. This is the very simplest program. Hope there are no doubts in this program. Please go through the output or just check the output. So first I will try to enter how many number of records, two records of the students. So if I try to enter n number of records, automatically it starts considering each one in the student's information. Just read the information and display. That is the just simple experiment for the first part. Anybody have any doubts? You can just please unmute yourselves and ask any query, or let me check for any questions in the chat box. Okay. As of now, there are no questions in the chat box. If anybody have any questions, you're free to ask. Guys, anybody have any questions? Don't worry, the whole program will be available for you guys to go through earlier, because you're not familiar with Java programs. But when you're the same program, when you're writing in Eclipse, it is more user friendly. The moment you drag your mouse pointer to any one particular function or header file, it displays what actually it does. Some information it depicts. So also you find you will get some you say some easy interface wherein you can it will type you or things very easier manner. So when we start our regular labs in the college, so you can have that experience as well. Anybody have any questions, or let me go on with the next program? Anybody have any questions? Guys, anybody have any questions? Yes, no, please give me a confirmation.
No, sir.
No questions? Great. So let me move ahead with the next program. So in the next program, I will demonstrate the working procedure of stack. So please remember the working procedure of stack, where it's normally called as LIFO, or first and last out, where you know the concept of stack, the same concept we try to implement here. We try to use only one simple header file, that is scanner, because we only need some simple information to store, and rest all arrays will work for us. So I will try to declare one array to store the stack information or to store the values of stack. Then I will take one pointer which represents the pointer to the stack values, and a specific size. And size always will be, a stack all initially pointing will be pointing to -1, and array will be assigned with a particular size for particular size. So then I will try to write three functions or three methods. One is push, pop, and display. In push, I will try to check whether the stack is full or not. First, I will try to assign some size for the stack, maybe 3 or 5 or n number of size. What size I pass on for the particular stack, the same value will be represented for a of n or something else. Right, so a of n will be holding a particular size what I passed on, what I pass here. Then for push, I will check stack is full. For pop, I will check stack is empty. Or in display also, I will check whether stack is, if there are any elements, or stack is or top is equal to -1, stating that there are no elements to the display. Alright, so first I will check whether stack is full or not. Max -1, always we look into for stack full, we check max -1 is the particular concept we use if to check whether the stack is full or not. So then we move on. If it's not full, then we will try to take the data and pass on that data to a particular entry in a stack, entry in an array. Okay, then we increment the top value. So I'm just taking one particular value, and I push it on directly to my stack and automatically increment. Same way, pop. First, I will check whether my top points to -1. If it's -1, then I can understand that the stack is under flow. Then if not, then I will try to remove the particular element by saying negative, by negating the top value, and whatever value which was being negated or decremented, that value I will display as this is the element being popped up. So for display, I will try to check whether how many elements are there, whether my top is equal to -1. If top is equal to -1, then I will say there are no elements to display. And subsequently, I will try to start from a array of 0 to the array top points to max -1. I will try to check and display correspondingly the values. So this is about the three methods, push, pop, and display. For all these particular class, I will try to write one main function. So in main function, I will create a particular size with respect to scanner. Same scanner I will use here in order to accept the value, and I want to run the menu for n number of times, so I take one infinite loop here. So I will try to assign the choice value with respect to 1, 2, and 3. If in case 1, I will go with the push. In case of 2, I will go with pop, and in case of 3, I will go with display, and 4 for exit. So these are the different choices which I'm trying to make for the program. So let me run this. Guys, any questions? If you guys have any questions, you can just interrupt me. So let me take some value as 4. That means I will try to insert or I will try to initialize my stack size is equal to 4. Now initially I will say push is equal, I will try to tell push one value. So I will try to enter one value as push. I will try to push one value as 25. So if I try to push it again one more value, so I will press 1. So I will try to write some value as 35. So if I try to want to display them, so I will try to see that 35 and 25 are the elements, and see that the last inserted is 35, that is at the top. Okay, so let me insert one more value and check what I will be observing. So I will try to continuously insert a value till the stack is full. Okay, so I will try to insert value. Please remember my stack size was just 4. Now I try to, after inserting 4 values, I am trying to insert the 5th value as 55, but it's showing as stack is full. Now if I try to display, I will see that the 4 elements already occupied the size of 55, did not take. So I will try to go with the next method, that is pop. So when I say pop, the top was pointing to 90, that is popped. So if I go to the next same option with pop-up, so I will get 45 is the next element. Similarly, I go with the pop again and again, and now all the elements are completely popped. I will try to check it again. There are no elements to on the stack, so it is saying stack underflow. Now I will try to see what are the how many elements are there. After popping all the elements, I will say no elements to display. So that I will go with the fourth option saying exit. So these are the two programs which I was had planned to execute for the first lab. So if you guys have any doubts or any queries, you can discuss, else we can continue with the execution part. Guys, any doubts, any clarifications? Feel free to ask your doubts. Yes, no, come on, say something. Anybody have any doubts? Anybody have anything to say? Yes. Any more queries? Say yes or no.